welcome into the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. We are live at Varsity Pins, getting you set for another week of high school football action, and of course with the Clarksville High School Wildcats. I'm Ethan Schmidt bringing you this week's show, and of course Coach Isaac Shelby here with me as always. Coach Shelby, how are you, sir? How are things going?
Pretty good. Tough week against Springfield last week, but I think we're going to bounce back against Rossview. It's an exciting game to get ready for.
And again, this is we want to thank all of our sponsors that we have here. Got a couple that I want to get early and kind of talk about because I know we like to do this first and foremost. Again, we want to thank the Sheepdog Custom Ink Coach Stephen Conway, who provided us with a shirt today. So it's a mystery gift, but we got a shirt here for somebody in attendance. There's a couple of our faithful mothers over there. Somebody's going to walk away with the shirt here today. So again, a thank you to Coach Stephen Conway for providing that and everything else that he provides us with as well.
Yeah, he does an awesome job. He always takes care of us, whatever we need. If you're a coach out there looking for like a supplier on stuff like that, I highly recommend him. He's really, really good.
Absolutely. Fantastic job with Sheepdog Custom Ink. Of course, we want to thank Varsity Pins. They have us here. They're allowing us to use their facility. We're on the bus every week, which is really cool. We got duck pin bowling going on over there. If you haven't been to Varsity Pins yet, you need to come check it out. They just got the karaoke booth in there recently, and I've heard that, I'm sure Chase and Grant, they're like, we got to get Coach Shelby in there to make the promo.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But the duck pin bowling is fun. I did that with Lucy a couple weeks ago. That's a lot harder than it looks. That axe throwing thing over there is actually pretty neat too. If you get a chance to do that, they're both really good.
And, of course, Wyatt Johnson Hyundai, they have become one of our official sponsors, not only for the podcast, but they're on all of our social media. They've come out to the home game. They brought a car out there, and I know a lot of times parents, you're out there looking, who can you trust? Well, Wyatt Johnson Hyundai is one of those people that have put faith into our program. They want to make sure that they can get you and your family up on four wheels and driving around.
Yeah, I think they're going to do that at each game this year, so that'll be pretty exciting. I was told they're going to bring like a different car every week, so that's pretty neat.
And, of course, Middle Tennessee Sports, they're bringing the live stream to you. So if you're watching us at home, hello. We are here. We want to say thank you for watching us, and we want to thank Mr. Greg and Miss Sarah for all they do for us. They also live stream all of our games. So, of course, I know this game we're going to talk about here in a little bit will be on television, but we'll still have the live stream this week as well over at the Red School. So just know they're with us all the time, though. So when we're not on My TV 30, we do have Mr. Greg, Miss Sarah, who work very hard. I know Miss Sarah, she's a little upset because she won't be there Friday. She'll just be in Gatlinburg with soccer.
She's not going to be there Friday?
Yeah, she's going to be with soccer in Gatlinburg.
Yikes.
That's a bad trip, right, Miss Sarah? Yeah, it could be worse, right? Yeah.
They do a great job. I know my dad watches on TV. It's pretty neat that, people in other cities and, our players' grandparents and stuff that don't live here can keep up with it live. They don't have to, watch like just a streaming thing to try to figure out the score. They can watch their kids live. So we're lucky to have Greg and Sarah that do a great job on that for us. It's good for our program.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about this past Friday night. I know, obviously, starting the season 0-2, it's been a while. I mean, this has been a long time since we've had this conversation. We had to go all the way back to 2022. Mm-hmm. Now, if history repeats itself, things are looking up because that was the same kind of situation we were in 2022 with a fairly similar caliber team on the roster right now. But the game at Springfield, talk a little bit about that and what you saw from that game and what you saw from your team.
Yeah, I think we talked to the kids today about the number one way to win a high school football game is not lose it is the number one way. And we did some things that really hurt us. We turned it over in the first half 4 times. Really, really hard to recover from that. But I was proud of the kids like fighting all the way till the final drive. They never gave up. They made that a close game, and we had a couple chances to win it, especially if we had stopped that screen pass early. I think we had enough time to get down there and win it.
Yeah, absolutely. There was also a chance because there was a tip like his hands and somehow ended up in a Springfield player's hands, and you said that's like flipping a coin 20 times and losing it every time.
Yeah, that's like losing 20 consecutive coin flips without a win. It was up in the air. It seemed like it was up in the air for like 5 minutes, and it was Max and Josh that were under it. Somehow the Springfield kid made a great play, and he came away with the ball. So, it's one of those luck things, and it'll catch up to us at some point. We've got to force our luck a little bit. And we'll be fine. That last year, we started out like this. We ended up winning in the playoffs. And it was a big season for us. I think this team can right the ship and get into region play and get the 1 seed. And then have a home game back at Clarksville High School.
Yeah, and it was really cool in that 2022 season because we talked about it. It was the first time that we had won a home playoff game since I was in high school.
Yeah,
so
it was
a
big
really
deal.
big deal for everything. So a lot of good momentum with this group. And I think, you mentioned this as well. Despite the loss, you look at week 1 to week 2 and you said this is almost completely different. And a lot of the things that we challenged those guys to do during the week were fixed. It was just the score didn't come out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, I'll give them that. And Springfield was a great team. There's no doubt about it. They're going to make a deep run in the playoffs, I think, in their class. We were down a couple of guys on Friday night, and we'll have those guys back hopefully this Friday. So I think that'll help us quite a bit. But they're a good quality team. They're coached well. It's a program that's got state championship DNA in it, and we're trying to get to that point. But I was proud of the way they fixed the things that we asked them to fix. There were some things in there that we really, really focused on in practice, and those guys improved on those things.
And then, of course, Tuesday of this week, unfortunately, it's the hardest thing I'm going to have to say.
Yeah,
That's my first loss as the JV head coach on Tuesday, traveling back to Springfield. In a game that was fairly similar.
Yeah.
All the chances to win that game or ended in a tie at least in JV and just one play at the very end.
Yeah, it just came down to a play. Those kids fought hard too. That kid made a great catch. It was over like 3 guys. Braden Beckett did a great job. He was in position, and the kid just made a great play. So you would tip your hat to him. But it was a very similar situation, and I think I don't know where you is the first loss in how many years?
It was
3 or 4 years.
It was from our seniors, their freshman year.
Yeah, first loss in JV in 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
And we only lost one game that year.
Right. To Dixon?
To Dixon, by 6. So It was one of those it was unfortunate because I hate losing to Springfield. It's one of my least favorite thing in the entire world to do is lose to Springfield, especially at Springfield.
Yeah.
It makes me very upset.
Well,
so
I'll try to win the rest of them, and you try to win the rest of them in JV.
Sounds good. We'll do that. We'll make that deal and that pact with each other next time we see Springfield. Hopefully no weird things on the schedule, and somehow it doesn't get moved back there, and we can actually get them at home next year.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be back at Clarksville.
Good. That'll be good for us to kind of have that. But, Coach, obviously a lot of things to build on there. We knew that. We knew coming in this week that we were going to see some changes. Ultimately, I think you would agree that this team really, I think, figured it out. It maybe took a little bit too many weeks to get there, but I think they've figured out a lot.
I think it has. We always talk about how good you're playing in week 11, and we made a lot of improvement that week. If we can make the same amount of improvement every week as we did between Blackman and Springfield, I think we'll be in really, really good shape by the end of the year.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we're going to step aside for our first break. When we come back, we're going to have Elijah Ligon joining us, and I know we're excited to get Elijah up here. I think you're pretty fired up to get him up here as well.
Yeah, Elijah's a character. He's a live wire. He'll have something to say. I don't know what it is, but he'll have something to say.
All right, stay with us. Elijah Ligon joins us next on the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. And welcome back to the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show, the long-awaited, and originally we thought maybe this would never happen, okay? Coach Shelby and Elijah Ligon getting a chance to sit on the podcast together. This was one of the most requested, I think, by everybody to have this interview. Now, for those of you who don't know, Elijah came to us as a freshman, has been here all 4 years. As you mentioned before we went to break, Elijah's a bit of a character.
He is a character.
He is. He's one of those guys who smiles a lot. He likes to talk a lot.
He does.
He likes to joke a lot.
He does.
But over the past kind of year and a half, there's no way that we can say, and there's nobody can argue with this. he has come onto the scene as one of the most unblockable humans that we've seen in, I think, almost in Clarksville history. He's continuing a tradition that's been the past couple years. You think back 2 years ago, guys like Weston Boyd and Donovan Bowles, who maybe we didn't know what they were going to play. At one point, Elijah thought he was going to be a wide receiver, and I quickly put a kibosh to that, right? After that, last year, we got a guy like Jaden Hayes, Jaden Young, those guys who step in and play that position. Now we look at Elijah, who's come onto the scene, and he has absolutely just the past 2 games done a fantastic job of pressuring the quarterback and continuing to learn and get better.
Yeah, he has. I was joking with him before he came on. Me and Elijah had a pretty adversarial relationship at the beginning for a couple years, but he's actually matured quite a bit. And we joke around now a little bit. He's a super smart guy. He's fun to be around. He gets on my nerves time to time, but he is playing really, really well. I looked this up as we were going on the thing because I think he's got a chance at this record, to be honest with you. I don't know do you know how many sacks he has now?
He's at 1.5.
I think that he's got a chance at the all-time sack record if he keeps playing. If he keeps playing as well as he is. When we went back and did the all-time stats, the one we came up with was Jared Griffey in 2010. He had 11 at that point, and I think if he keeps playing well and he stays healthy and he does what Coach Conway's telling him, I think he's got a chance. It's Jared Griffey at 11 and Donovan at 10, and I think he's got a chance to break that record. He's a really, really talented player.
So, Elijah, now that we've given this, this just build up of you and making you feel good here, welcome to the podcast, number one. But number two, what is it for you? Because I know I've seen the way that this relationship has gone over the past 4 years. What's it like to hear that from Coach Shelby? And also, how do you feel coming into the season, knowing kind of that you're the guy that we're relying on?
First off, I would like to say it's good to be here. Glad to be here right after practice, hot, sweaty practice. It feels great hearing that from Coach Shelby, head coach. We've been battling out for the past 3 years, I would say, but I love Coach Shelby, and I wouldn't want any other coach. Honestly, it's just a mentality for me. I just got to keep moving forward. I mean, knowing that I have all this pressure on me to, hit that record. Hopefully, I just got to keep moving forward and hitting hard.
I think Elijah came to us like he was like a really raw player. He's a good athlete. He was strong. He's really good in the weight room. Really strong kid, and he's quick. Very, very, very quick. And it took us a while to find what he was best at, but I think we found it. He's a guy that's been developing in the program for a while, and like I said, I really think he has a chance at Jared's record.
Absolutely. What's it like to be? Because we had Bryson on here last week, and we had Hollywood, so we have 2 guys that work with Coach Conway. You kind of specifically are with Coach Conway, and we always say with Coach Conway, one of the things that we love about him is that if we have somebody who wants to play the game, wants to play football, Coach Conway can make you a star. I mean, it's one of those things, and I think that's been a kind of a rule that we've had, that if you want to get into a game, we'll put you at D-line with Coach Conway if you have the heart and the drive to do it, which we knew that you had all that put together. But what has Coach Conway kind of helped you with to get you at where you're at right now?
Honestly, something that's really important to me, and that's always been really important to me, is the relationship that you have with your coach. And I think Coach Conway does a great job with that. If he notices I'm having an off day, he'll walk up to me, ask me if I'm all right. It's really important, to always recognize things like that instead of it just being push, 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 go forward. Sometimes you just need to take a little step back, and if a coach recognizes that you're having an off day or something, that's really important to me. But working with Coach Conway is great. I wouldn't want any other coach to work with. He just really pushes you to keep moving forward, and I have a good time up there with the D lineman on the hill.
I think his patience is really good. He gets guys in there early. He sees what you can do. He sees what you can't do, and I think he works with those guys. He never gets too up or too down, and I think that helps out in that situation. Do you think so?
I would definitely say patience goes a long way with me, because you got to have a little bit of patience with me.
What's you were one of those players we talked about. I mean, you very first came out there, and you kept telling me you could be a really good receiver. And I was just like, man, I'll be honest with you, you got to catch a football to be a receiver, right? And that was a big question mark that we had, and I would always give you a hard time. But do you what's it like? Do you like playing D-line? Has it been super fun to do that? I mean, what was that transition like for you?
I love D-line. Like, I love playing D-line because I don't really have to think much. Like, if I had to think much, you probably have to think a little decent amount at wide receiver. I don't really have to think much at D-line. It's kind of just like hit the person in front of me and then go for the quarterback.
Yeah, he does a really good job of it. He's super irritating when he's playing scout defensive line because when we're trying to run plays at him, we can't get anything done at all. He just blows everything up, and then I have to throw him off to, it kills everybody's confidence. It's really difficult. He's a good athlete, and I'm proud of the way he's matured. He's came a long way. Not that he was immature, but just you can tell. While he still has fun, the interesting thing about him is he can still have fun, but at the same time he can still be serious. And I think the seriousness part this year as a senior has increased, but he has the right balance of I can be serious, but we're still having fun playing. And a lot of guys can't do that. They get so serious, it becomes not fun, and I don't think Elijah's one of those guys. Like on Friday nights, he's running around having fun. Like we have a trick play that involves Elijah that hasn't come out yet that will come out at some point this year that I'm still scared to death to run, but it'll pop out eventually at some point, I think.
Do you like to be able to do that now? I mean, having that kind of confidence instilled in you, what's that do for you as a player? Because we talked about it. I mean, like last year, I think we all kind of realized a little late in the season what you had the potential to do. Now, I mean, Coach Shelby is one of those coaches where he goes home and he looks at a player and says, all right, how can I fit them at different parts? Like if you're an athlete, I can't just play you at one spot. I have to be able to utilize you. What's that do for you as a player to know that's something that our coaches are thinking about at all times? I mean,
it really just gives me more opportunities, just to think of I don't have I can play more than just D-line. I can block on offense. I can do some other things that haven't came out yet. I mean, I'm an open book.
I think one of my best professors I ever had in college was Dr. Larry Lawrence at Austin Peay. And I remember in education classes, he always talked about focus on what the student can do, And I think that it took us a while, but we figured out what Elijah does best is just play hard. He puts his hand in the ground, he runs around, he plays hard. He does it the way Clarksville High is supposed to do it. He's going to run sideline to sideline, and he's not going to give up. I think his emotion, I wish, was a little more contagious with the rest of the guys because there were times we cut on the film the first 2 weeks, and Elijah looks like he's having more fun than the rest of the guys, and I wish that would kind of catch on. With the masses a little bit. But he's doing a really good job for us.
So one of the things that is cool about Elijah is, we always talk about how deep the tradition runs at Clarksville High School. His grandfather was a coach here at one point, and I believe while you were playing, or at least with some of the other coaches, maybe a little bit before you had got here your senior year, but your grandfather was one of the coaches at CHS.
So I miss Coach Disney. I graduated with Marcus and them, and Justin was a year younger than us, and he coached Marcus and Justin, but I didn't transfer here until right before my senior year. So he was, I just missed him by a little bit. And then I remember your dad was a really good athlete at Clarksville High, and I missed him too because I was at UT during that time. He graduated with he's my sister's age. So I missed him a little bit, and I missed Grandpa, but we got Elijah. So.
Yeah,
so you can talk about those guys.
Yeah, what's it like to have your grandfather who was a coach here, your dad went to school here, played here. We're hopefully going to get your little brother in a couple of years. What's that kind of like, that family legacy and tradition of you're a Wildcat?
I mean, it's just showing everyone my last name, showing everyone that Ligon last name. My grandpa, every time he's in town watching me play, he's always got something to say. Always coaching me up there like he's my head coach. But, it's just continuing the legacy is all. And hopefully my brother comes in and does some work too.
Yeah,
And
we're excited about the little brother.
Coach Disney also, he was, I don't know where he worked. Was it Houston County? Or one of my best assistants at Northeast was Steve Cordish. Really, really smart guy. He was from Louisiana, like Elijah's grandpa. And they ran into each other. So they're friends somehow. I don't know where they coached together. But I always heard Coach Cordish say good things about Coach Disney a long time ago when I was at Northeast.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we have that legacy from players, and being able to continue a legacy is so great with the school, because again, we talk about their tradition, 119 years of the program and the school, and being able to have that tradition where guys are coming back and being able to do that is just something that I love to harp on more than anything, because like you're alumni of the program, I'm alumni of the program. Coach Johnson, Coach Lawrence, we have a lot of different coaches. Coach Stanley, who've all played here. And now I've come back to Coach Fryer on that list. Now we have Nick and we have Kyler who have come back as well. So you have all these guys who have played here before, and they know how much it means. So I know Elijah's been hearing that since he was a little kid. If you go to Clarksville High School, you got to continue the legacy.
Yeah, Elijah's really smart too. I tell a lot of funny jokes in practice, and he's one of our smartest guys. And it's that little snicker right there. I'll tell a joke, and there'll be like 3 guys that understand it, but Elijah usually understands it, and he like smiles at me like that. And then I have to re-explain my joke to the rest of these guys.
None of these guys over here,
they don't understand it, but Elijah always understands. I've had a lot of good ones. He won't give me credit when any of them are good, but he does understand them when I throw them out there.
I love that. Elijah, what's been your favorite part about Clarksville High School? What's been your something that you'll look back on? I know we still have hopefully another 14 weeks is what we're looking at, but for you, what's been like a moment that really sticks out to you thus far at Clarksville High School?
I wouldn't say one particular moment, but I would say just in general, just like the family, like being able to create such important memories with like all these guys out here. I love being around these guys every single day. Gets a little exhausting sometimes, but
tell us about it.
I get over it sometimes, and I just love creating memories with these guys. When I get older, I'll 100% look back and just cherish those times with them.
Yeah, I think Elijah's one of the guys too that is he's like friends with everybody.
Yeah,
like he's not. We've had teams before that were really cliquey, and there's 3 or 4 groups of people, and I think that's normal on a team, and I think we even have some of that now. But Elijah's one that like he can mix with like any group that he wants to because of his personality. And I think that that like he's kind of the glue that kind of holds some of those groups together. I don't think he realizes that, but I think he is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you've been having probably a bunch of people politic to you about who's going to be on the show next week. All right. So this is your moment. Again, Coach Shelby's got a veto power here. So if you choose, because I know sometimes you're outlandish. We've been giving you a lot of like build you up here, but sometimes you're a wild card, and I don't want any like jokers pulled out of the deck here. I want something.
He's been really calm today.
I know this is
unusually
natural.
calm.
Usually pretty calm, I would say.
You've got something to say that's funny. I know you do.
I mean, it just comes out the book sometimes. It's not.
I know.
It kind of just slips off the tongue.
I know. I've been dealing with it for years.
You can't think about it too much. You know what I mean?
So who do we got? Who do we got this week, or who do we have for next week? Next week's show, who would you like to bring on? I know Ben's staring at you right now. He keeps wanting you to do a double with him and Caden, but it's your choice. Don't let him politic you.
I've been thinking, and their opinion has no effect on mine. But honestly, I think I'm going to have to go with Ben Dyke and Caden Binkley here.
I like that. We can do that. We can double it up.
Both of them?
Yeah, both of them.
Well, we're going to talk the backside of the 3 technique then. Ben doesn't want to talk about that.
We're going to talk Ben about getting the head across.
We're going to talk about cutting off a 3 technique next week.
So Ben Dyke, Caden Binkley, we'll have them on next week. We'll get, I think it's our first offensive lineman on the show, so that's good. We'll get some of the O-line. We've had 3 straight defensive linemen in a row. So
Seems like they're taking care of each other.
Absolutely. I like that. So Caden and Ben, we'll have them on the show next week. Fired up to have them in there. But Elijah, thank you so much, man. This is a huge week. It's a Shield week. You've never not had it. They've never had it in your lifetime over there. So
how's that game different, Elijah?
Yeah.
How's that game different? Because I overheard you last week and I ignored it, but you're really excited about this week.
Oh yeah, just the atmosphere, like just being out on the field, like during that Rossview game. It is so much fun and so exciting and so loud. Oh my gosh, it is so loud. I'm super excited to defend this Shield for the 8th year in a row.
People don't realize how early people get to the games.
Oh my gosh,
if you're
they're there before us.
Yeah, if you try to get there at 6 o'clock, you're not sitting down. No,
you're getting nosebleeds.
You'd be lucky to be on the fence where you can see.
100%, 100%.
All right, Elijah, we're going to let you go. Coach Shelby, now we're going to take a break here. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about that rivalry game when we come back on the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. And welcome back to the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. Coach Shelby, we do have another guest that joined us just now on the bus. Miss Lucy's up here.
Lucy did jump up on the bus, and she's going to sit there and be quiet for a little bit while we finish this up.
Well, real quick, Miss Lucy, do you have anything that you want to say to our listeners at home?
I hope that y'all can make it to games and that y'all can make it to the coaches show.
We appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Lucy. You're the best.
Lucy, what happened last time we played Rossview? You have to go to the hospital? Remember?
Yeah.
You hurt your arm?
Somebody pulled my arm through a fence so I couldn't stay long.
Yeah, so you left at halftime, right?
Yeah.
And then you came back?
Yeah.
Okay.
We love that. We love that you came back. You're a trooper. We appreciate you so much, Miss Lucy, for telling people to come out to the show. Coach, again, this week, it's the Warfield Shield. It's Rossview CHS. It's one of those things. We've talked about this every year. It's one of those games that it's crosstown families going against each other. Rossview came from Clarksville High School when they were made 20-plus years ago. A lot of these players that are here, they have cousins. They have uncles who went to CHS and now they're at Rossview, whatever it is. Grandpa went to CHS and dad went to CHS, but now maybe older brother and them are going to Rossview. What's it like for you, obviously, as a coach, when you look at a game like this Rossview game? What is it like for you going into this game?
I think the Rossview game is always been a big rivalry. I think the Shield, when that came about, I think it was the two student body presidents came up with that idea. Is that right? Yeah. I think when that came about, it added a lot of juice to it. But just when they rezoned us, the having Rossview school zone as close to Clarksville High as it is, really kind of ignited that rivalry. People don't understand, but if you stand in front of Richview and you throw a rock across the street into Rudolphtown, you're in Rossview zone. Yeah. So, the school zones are adjacent. It's families split up. It's people that have gone to church together, Little League baseball, all that stuff. I was watching a documentary about the Hatfields and McCoys a couple years ago, and I always think that it's kind of similar in that, these kids, they know that they're not supposed to like Rossview, but I don't know that they actually know why. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that kind of got with the Hatfields and McCoys at some point, where just generations and generations of people, they don't like each other, but nobody ever really knew what started the whole thing,
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. I mean, so I was one of those people who played in that first Warfield Shield game. I get it. I understand it. When that came around, it was, mentioned it was two student body presidents that came together. They found an old shield at one of the Army surplus stores, and they created an art project. Yeah, so that's where that all began. That was in the 2008 season. Okay. I won't talk about the outcome of it because I still don't really you don't like that, right? So I don't really talk about that, but I do know what the rivalry does mean. And I know a lot of times for these guys, you're right. You have the Clarksville Orioles, where a lot of these kids played on the Orioles, and you'll see. I think we had a really good story during the state tournament run where most of the kids on the Orioles were either Clarksville kids, Rossview kids, or CA, and they were all in.
Yeah, I remember that
tournament.
picture. Yeah, that was really, really cool. But it's like that in everything. I think that Rossview does a really good job of putting out quality programs in every sport, So it's not just, this isn't just a football rivalry. It's a football rivalry. It's a rivalry in hoops. It's a rivalry in base. It's a rivalry in everything. Even when you go to the baseball game, like the amount of people there is just, it's crazy. I wish every game was like that, that we play, but it's a really, really cool rivalry. Excited to be a part of it. It's fun to coach in. Definitely if you're going, get there early because it's a very small bleacher over there, and if you're not there really, really early, you're not going to be able to sit down for that.
One thing that you said to me before in the past is you could set us up in the gym playing checkers and we'd sell out.
Absolutely. I think you could do a fundraiser like that. I think you could. I've always thought about this. Somebody's going to take this idea now. But when I was a kid, they had Quiz Bowl.
Yeah.
And like on Saturday mornings, like each school would put out like 4 people for Quiz Bowl.
Yeah.
And so you would have 2 quiz. I really think that the rivalry is so big that if we took like our top 4 students at Clarksville High and Rossview's top 4 students at Clarksville High and had like Quiz Bowl in the gym the night before the game, I think you'd sell out the gym for Quiz Bowl, like just because it's Clarksville Rossview. I think we could play ping pong and sell it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Quiz Bowl thing, not to go off topic here, but my first TV station when I was in Michigan still did Quiz Bowl for the entire Upper Peninsula.
Yeah.
And it is still something, I'm not trying to steal your idea, it's still something that I'd like to do at Austin P.
Yeah.
For the local high schools. I haven't. That's an idea that it's not technically stealing from you because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but now that I'm actually like on faculty track, that's one of my things that I'm pitching.
Hey,
so yes, I'd love it.
It's not a bad idea, but I really think that, and I really think the kids would get excited. Like if you took whoever was currently like the valedictorian now, the salutatorian, the next 2 people, like the top 4 people in each class at both schools, and sat down and had like you would have to find like an impartial person to come up with the questions, and had a legit Quiz Bowl. People would show up and watch that just because it's Clarksville Rossview. Yeah, maybe. We might have to find like a super impartial person.
Just maybe for that one show, right? Coach, you mentioned the team, and obviously it's a first-year head coach over at Rossview. He's still obviously trying to get things done. It's the post-Todd Hood era. One of the things about I feel as a coach is you kind of knew, and the same thing for Coach Hood. Coach Hood knew what you wanted to do. You knew what Coach Hood wanted to do, and sometimes it was just who could get their play to break. Now you got a new coach you're game planning for. You've already spoke very highly. I know you're looking at what he's doing and what he's been able to do. What have you seen from this new look Rossview Hawks?
I think they're really athletic. I think they play hard. Their scheme on defense is very different. It's difficult. You don't see it week to week, which what makes it really good. Offensively, they're doing a lot of different stuff. I don't know how they get all that stuff taught, to be honest with you. Doing a lot of different stuff. I think their punt team is really good. They do some really, really difficult things schematically on punt that really challenge you. But I think Stratty does a really good job. The kids look like they're playing for him hard. I don't know how many assistants he retained or whatever, but it's a good football team over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's going to be this Friday at Rossview. And I know some people were saying, well, Coach, we played them last year. What happened? And we talked about this a little bit. You don't really get to choose those region games. You get assigned a number early on during the preseason. And you just take your number, and then whatever their number is lines up when you're in a new region rezoning.
Yeah, that's how the regions work. So you'll go to the region meeting, and there's just a bracket on the board, and it says like number 3 plays number 6 or 4 plays 5 or whatever, and then you just pull, like you legitimately pull a number out of a hat, and I forget what I pulled, but I was 4 and they were 2, and the 2 versus 4 match was at the number 2 the first year, and it was week 3. So, it's a big deal, but I don't think you play this game week 1, you play it week 10. It's going to be the same amount of intensity from both schools, I think.
Absolutely. So, Coach, what's the message to the students? What's the message to the Clarksville faithful rolling into this Friday at Rossview?
Get there early. These kids are working hard. This game's different. It's a region game. The region games mean more. It's kind of like every time you win a region game, you win 2 games because you win that game plus the head-to-head tiebreaker. So it's a huge region game, against a quality opponent. We have to come out with a win to, keep our keep our mojo going. The kids are working really hard. They're doing the things we're asking them to do. Maybe not as fast as we want them done, but they're working with us and meeting in the middle on it.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see a really good football game. I know they are bringing out the Evolve security system, like they did last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Evolve security system will be there, so everybody will have to pass through that. It'll push everybody through one gate. So if you are not there early, you're going to get stuck in that long line and, miss the first quarter or something. So be there early, like clear bag policy, like all that stuff or whatever, but everyone's going to have to go in that one gate to get through that and then disperse from that point.
All right, Coach. Well, again, we want to thank our sponsors each week. Of course, we mentioned Sheepdog Custom Inc. We want to thank them. We want to thank Wyatt Johnson Hyundai as well, along with our other sponsor that we have here, Varsity Pins, of course, who's letting us use this as well. But, Coach, I want to thank you for your time. And as always,
go Cats.
Go Cats. All right, we'll see you all next time.